Welcome everyone for another IGC Presents Star Wars Edge of the Empire, Sorcerers of Rhand, Session 4, Dream Within a Dream. Let's start off with a little recap of the last session. The party had left Nar Shaddaa and were to meet with some nefarious kind of smugglers. They were given a job by Jarek to deliver the goods, which went mostly in the party's favor. A little bit of a backstab of the Moonbat gang, and Arden had a little bit of a close call there, a little bit of a Trandoshan hug, but everything seemed to turn out all right after they blasted their enemies out of the sky. After which they made their way to the mysterious kind of space station of Centerpoint Station. Inside, they saw an old derelict craft and some strange beings floating in and out, almost ethereal. A lone Killik and a mysterious woman who had asked them a question. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and assemble our pools. Let's see if any obligations come into this. If you guys want to go ahead and type it out, and then we'll give it a roll. $93 does not look like any obligation is going to come into play. And if you guys want to assemble their force die pool, let's go ahead and do that. Oh, starting off good. 3 black, 3 white.
Our luck might be turning around, guys.
Could very well be.
That just sounds ominous, though.
All right. When we last left the party, the mysterious woman dressed in almost a blood-stained cloak standing outside, speaking directly to the characters. Confess what darkens your heart, what haunts your dreams, what regret falters your step. Would anyone like to answer first? Also, please let the DM know if you are straight up trying to bullshit.
She's gonna step forward and ask, who are you?
She looks directly into your eyes. I am the way forward. I am your salvation.
And what do you mean by our salvation?
You tarry too long. A question was asked. If answers are what you seek, I can offer so much more. She looks over the party.
Well, anyone feel like speaking up? Okay, well, Fi will kind of step forward and kind of get... How tall is this person?
She's maybe 5'7".
So it'll kind of get up, right up next to her and kind of look in her eye and say, well, some of us don't know how many more steps they have left to take, so what's there to worry about?
She grins as she stands there. Her posture, which is already pretty good, straightens even more. She almost licks her lips with anticipation.
Gross. You're not getting anything from me, so good luck with that.
Okay, one refusal. She looks to the rest. And how about you?
Well, pardon me for not being so very trusting, as we have just met and have no idea of who you are or really what this place is.
I can understand your trepidations. She kind of closes her eyes, deep in thought. A quest, I see. It seems the Bith has sent you ill-prepared.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Ruh-roh.
Help you on this quest, I can. But only the truly faithful shall be deemed worthy.
Faithful to what or to whom?
The great power. The power that is in everything. That is everything.
The Force, you mean?
She smiles.
Well, I at least answered your question, so is that enough to get you to help us?
The question is asked of all. But if some enticement is in order. Fi, I'm going to need you to make me a discipline check. Difficulty 3. She taps into your mind, and you're just unable to resist at all. You see a vision, a dusty world, wind blowing, sand gets in everything. Thanks, Anakin.
Nice.
Wind blowing, sand just churning about as you kind of dive down closer to the ground and swoop in, moving forward. You come across a valley. And standing in four corners of this valley, you see tall, erect statues. Maybe Force users. They seem to be mostly in cloaks.
Does it look like, is the planet familiar to me immediately, or?
You can make an... I would allow either lore or outer rim. They're both intelligence-based, so I don't think it'll make a difference. Difficulty is going to be... We'll also say 3.
I'm gonna spend a light point.
May the Force be with us.
Unfortunately, no. At least it's not something that you've studied.
Alrighty.
I'm going to spend the strain in a little different way. Fi, you are going to kind of go down prostrate before her. Not because of any sort of, like, you feel compelled to bow, just because the vision was so taxing on you.
I'll be like I said, on the ground, kind of clutching my head, like, oh, okay, yeah, I hate magic.
You seek the wills.
Is that what's at the end of this treasure hunt?
The vision you saw. Korriban. It will lead you to your answer. Hearing Korriban might strike some an accord within the party.
Okay, that's a little bit outside of my typical purview. File will kind of try and pick himself up a bit and look back at G and kind of size him up a bit.
G, you can make me a lore check, difficulty 2. Success. All right. So Korriban, you know it's the seat of the Empire's reach into their conquest of the galaxy. Also noted for their Force users there, a lot of dark side lore.
Okay, I'll say. It's like the center of the Empire. Where all the Force users come from.
Not exactly a prime vacation spot for a Jedi, huh?
Far from.
Also strikes me as a place where some ancient forgotten temple is unlikely to go unnoticed.
Mm-hmm.
If you can pick out the trees in the forest.
If you seek the wills, you will need to go. Does anyone else wish to answer her question?
Physic will think about his options here. He doesn't really have a dark past, but he's going to ask her, what do you think about my particular quest to find out more about my people? Any information you might be able to reveal in that?
You seek the pool of knowledge. And she smiles. Lead you to it, I can.
I mean, I'm not big on revealing my darkest secrets to somebody I just met, but I don't know. What does the rest of the group feel about this whole deal that she's trying to strike with us?
Fezzik, make me a discipline check. Difficulty 3. Okay, so no success. She's going to tap into your mind again, but you're going to see a much different place than what Fyrus did. You kind of dive into a planet, and you're surrounded by kind of a hot, muggy moisture, jungle everywhere around you as you're kind of passing through the trees as they're zipping by. And you wind up to the mouth of a cave. Kind of the smoke is bellowing out the bottom, just fog rolling. You retain your feet. She kind of almost shivers in excitement. Another source of power. Strong. Strong with the force. Strong with the wills.
I'm assuming you mean the place, 'cause I ain't strong with the force at all.
Those who seek the wills will be tested. You must go to the cave on Dagobah.
Wait, so is it Dagobah or Korriban? Where are you leading us?
She looks over at Ji, who has not really answered, as Arden is pretty adamantly like, I am no part of this. And what about you, young Jedi?
Again, pardon me for not being very trusting. As you're just sending us out willy-nilly.
Yeah, third time's the charm.
There is a quicker way, but it is more dangerous. I do not think you would survive.
Just like how the other people here didn't survive.
They are the masters of their own fate. Again, she kind of glances over at the party. I see. No one truly worthy among you. Ji, at this point, I want you to make me a discipline check. Difficulty 3. Success. However, you are going to lose kind of your footing. Not quite as prostrate as Fyrus, but just enough where you're down basically on one knee. The vision that you see, something very familiar to you. You see the bustling streets of Coruscant, cars kind of zipping to and fro as you move over towards the Jedi Temple. You kind of hover around the temple proper for a moment before you dive deep within the mountainside that it resides on, and you feel an overwhelming power, a surge of the Force. The wills gather, they are strong. The task is your own. You are the masters of your own fate. But are you strong enough to embrace it? She glances over at Arden. Such defiance in this one. There's still time. And she blinks away.
Okay. Not a big fan of sharing with the class there, Arden.
I never said it was any of your business.
Well, but sometimes you gotta... Ooh, dang. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to make the spooky ghost lady go away.
I mean, we can find other ways to make her go away.
Something does me a feel that shooting her with a blaster would not get us very far.
Well, one of us here's got a lightsaber.
Take your
Try to
pick
hit
and we
things
can
up.
all hit.
All right, what do you guys wish to do? You do notice the Godel that's kind of floating there. He's in a more upright position and seems to be looking over at you guys.
Well, what's the goal, guys? Met a lot of different people here today.
Yeah, some people want us to leave and take them with them, or others want us to stay. So we got a couple options here, I suppose.
I'm still not entirely sure what we were trying to find on this station. Or if we've even found it yet.
Yeah, that's another thing. We kind of are at a crossroads of clues here. I don't know that I necessarily trust the leads that we were just given.
I won't trust anything that she says.
Some
Well,
strange lady pops up out of nowhere and tells us that our destiny is in these certain places. I can't help but think that she's leading us to places that she wants us to go.
she did seem to know something of what she was talking about. Remember, our historian friend did say we were after the wills.
I don't know much about Jedi. Are Jedi able to, like, read our minds and shit, or what?
There are Jedi that can. But remember that not all Force users are on the light side.
Light side, dark side, they're all killing each other anyway.
Light side didn't seem to help us much here, at the very least. Well, why don't we work on tying up loose ends anyway? Who's in favor of taking the bug with us?
I mean, we still haven't found any kind of leads for where to go next. I think at the very least, we ought to try to find a way to get to that other space station. If these are sister stations, there's got to be something in the computers about where the other one's located.
It must be good to explore this place a little more while we're here.
Definitely. I'm just trying to tick off our very long list of headaches.
I don't have a problem with the bug guy.
That's one vote, one way.
I mean, I'd like to stick around a little longer, see if I can get this other scrap heap here flying, but I don't know how long that might take. I'd have to look the ship over first.
Alright, well, if you want to do that, I guess we could go try and look at the computers like you suggested.
As you guys are conversing, the Godel is slowly moving over in your guys' direction, as though doesn't really have a care in the world. He's kind of made from long distance to medium.
Like, is it obvious enough that we would notice him doing that?
You kind of don't really see the movement so much, but as you guys are talking and look back, you can see that he is getting closer, but he is, again, not moving at any great speed. Though it is pretty much the first time that you've seen him move, aside from open his eyes and maybe clutch something in his hands.
Hey, old man, you lose your parking brake?
Nice joke, by the way.
Yeah.
What did the wise woman want?
for us to fill out personality profile.
He kind of just blinks once at you. I assume you rejected her outright.
Well, the lady did anyway, as he looks at Arden.
And
So what are you going to do?
Looks like for now we're trying to figure out what to prioritize.
As you guys kind of look at him again as he's floating along, something that you didn't pick up the first time, you see kind of some small packs that are kind of floating there in air. In his hands, he does have another NutriPaste. He's kind of clutching. Seems like a little bit of color's returned to him as well.
Are those the food packs that the ghost people stole from our
Putting two and two
Holy
together,
fuck, it
yeah,
is.
more than likely.
I had offered you food if you wanted it before.
it's more fun to steal it, don't you know?
The twins insisted. It's been a long time since I've had something solid.
Are the twins friends of yours?
He kind of laughs the best that he can. They're friends of no one. They mostly keep to themselves.
They've seemed pretty talkative since we got here.
It's very easy to tune them out if you're accustomed to it.
Well, if you're tuning them out, how do you know that they keep to themselves?
I've been here a long time. What year is it?
We'll give him the current year.
Oh, longer than I thought.
And just for reference, are you here before or after this ship?
He kind of, for the first time, you see him move his arm and he kind of scratches at his temple. Before, I think.
Low whistle.
Who came in on that ship then, if you can remember that far back?
Captain and his crew lost it in space, I believe. They were looking for something I can't remember.
Well, that sounds disturbingly familiar.
Danja. Captain Danja, if I remember.
That might be useful information, thank you.
Oh,
And
first,
my question is, how did you survive and they didn't?
I could teach you, but I don't think you'd have the time. The woman has shown me a great many things.
Now, you say she's provided you this gift of a very long life, but when you were talking earlier about her, you made it sound like it would have been a very bad idea to give her anything she wanted.
And you did exactly that.
Well, if she knows how to hook us up with the long life, then maybe that's something we should consider. Suddenly lends a bit more credence to her words, IMO.
One day I hope to see the font of power. I've seen it in my mind walking.
And what do you know of the font of power?
It's seated on a remote planet I have not been able to discern, but I've seen it in the shadowy place. They say it makes all your dreams come true.
Really?
Have you, mostly stuck in here, or have you explored the station a bit?
In my youth, I looked over at every inch and cranny of this ship, this station. I have not yet been able to discern its purpose. I think
Do
the
you know
killing...
anything about the countdown?
What countdown?
I guess that answers that question. Some sort of a countdown on one of the computers we were shown.
Your Killick friend might be able to shed more light on that.
Well, say someone came to the station looking to find something. Where would you, recommend they look?
Just off the main computer embankments, there's a room which I was not able to discern its purpose. It is not completely spherical. It's been elongated. I do not know its function. Something about it. I don't know. It seems misplaced.
Well, that definitely gives us a place to start. Thank you.
You're welcome. If you must excuse me, I feel up for a little meditation. I've regained some of my strength.
I wonder how. Tell the twins not to take any more of our food.
I'm afraid I have nothing to offer you, but if you need any more advice, come find me.
We can do that.
All right. And he kind of floats up a little more towards the ceiling and goes to sleep, meditative trance, however you want to look at it.
Before he heads back, I do want to go ahead and ask him what his name.
Oh, my name. Raxon. Master Raxon.
master as in you're a Jedi?
He kind of ignores you at this point and floats up. Though, oddly enough, his kind of cloak opens just enough where you can see at the hilt of a saber.
Huh.
Does that name ring a bell at all?
You can make either an education or a lore check. Difficulty 2. Ooh, resounding success. You kind of reach back into your mind and think of prominent masters. Nothing comes to light at first, and you vaguely remember hearing a story of Master Raxon. It has to be at least 1,000 years ago. Just a small story about how he went in, kind of liberated some hostages from a situation. Didn't seem super important at the time, but it just, for some reason, it just stuck with you.
You know, I've read about that name before. It was like from over 1,000 years ago.
Well, assuming he's the same guy, that's a long time.
He looks pretty good for his age, though.
Yeah, I did that.
We knew that the ship is how old at this point?
I don't remember giving any exact age, but somewhere comparable.
Okay, so that adds up then.
Well, Fez, you wanted to look at the ship. Do you mind if maybe some of us go check out that special room we mentioned?
Might head with you first just to make sure you can get into the room, because, you know, if it requires hacking or anything like that, I'm your guy, but after that I'll head back here.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so we'll fast track a little bit. Excuse me. Get you guys kind of past the main computer arrays there, and there is what appears to be a room off to that side. The blast doors are shut.
Any sign of a keypad or an override panel, anything like?
Yes, however, you guys don't do the language too well. Somebody can certainly try. Computer use difficulty 2.
And would you say that this is overcoming a lock?
If there were setbacks, you could then, let's see, a computer-based lock. In this case, yes.
Okay, so I do get a boost die from one of my cybernetics then.
Nice.
Can I also try and like assist?
Yes. So how assisting kind of works is, I think it just adds a boost die. Are you trained in computers? Doesn't look like it.
No.
Because you were with the Killick when he was doing the pad, I will let you assist more on kind of a linguistical. So Fezzik, add another boost die.
Okay. So does that look correct?
Yes. Ooh, nice. You're definitely going to be able to open this panel. You will also see that there are a few other commands as well that you can activate from this panel. There's kind of a holo projector that will activate in this room if you so wish. And it seems, this is the other thing that you're going to notice, power running to this console, this door, is separate from the kind of the rest. It's drawing from a secondary power source.
Can I fiddle with the panel? First, I'll activate the holo projector just to see what happens. But after that, can I fiddle with it to try and track down where this power source is?
Yes. So you activate. We'll do this first. You activate the holo projector. Inside this room, think of it as being roughly egg-shaped, but a little more elongated. Obviously stretched in the center. The projector activates, and on the southern kind of half sphere and the northern, so up and down, as this room were, you see two visions. One is Center Point Station, and then to the ceiling, you see its sister station. They kind of just sit there and spin for a little bit. And then a star chart will appear. One thing that you will notice from this, well, it's not super difficult. I don't think we'll need a real... whoever's trained in astrogation will kind of pick this out right away. You're seeing a lot of black masses around one quadrant, as though it's 1,000 black holes.
Oh, that does not look like smooth water.
Yeah, I'm not even sure our ship would be able to safely navigate through that.
Definitely not easily, and I've been piloting for a long time.
And you may make me a computer use check. It is 1 purple, 1 red.
Okay.
To kind of discern where the power source is.
And I'll go ahead and flip a light side point to boost one of my die as well.
May the force be with us.
Nice.
It's the little things in life. Unfortunately, no successes.
Can I use my second chances to let him re-roll the 2 advantage yellow die?
Absolutely.
Wasn't meant to be.
However, we'll go ahead and use these advantages in a different way. As you're not going to be able to discern where the power source is, but as you follow the power kind of from this panel, you know that it's going down and towards this kind of this offshoot room.
Well, I might have an idea on where we can get a power source for that busted up ship, but it's going to take a little while to keep tracking down where the power feeding this room is coming from.
Gotcha. Can Fi, he's trained in astrogation, can he go and kind of study the star chart and try and figure out like where that is?
Absolutely. So, not going to necessarily make you roll. You're just going to spend some time kind of looking this over. It is towards the outer rim, but very close to unknown space. They call it the Maw Cluster.
Okay. Yeah, he'll take a minute and try and coordinate it and figure stuff out and let the others do what they were doing.
All right, is anybody else going in the room?
I'll go for shits and giggles.
Okay. As you're...
I want to stand
Go
I
ahead.
just want to stand in the doorway just so I can see like both rooms.
Okay, fair enough. Arden, as you kind of move in, as you're, again, kind of planets and stars are moving by you as you pass through this area. Again, the bottom is very kind of dome-shaped. Everything in this room seems to be incredibly smooth. Let's see. Arden and G can both make me perception checks. Difficulty 1. Okay. Arden, you are going to notice this. As you're kind of down in that smooth surface, you are kind of running your boots along and you feel for the first time, you know, when you're walking on cement, there's usually that divider line, that crack. You feel one almost dead center in the sphere.
That's the weirdest thing. Am I able to see it, or do
Yeah,
I just feel it?
absolutely. As you kind of bend down, investigate closer, you can see almost like a diamond-shaped indent in the floor.
You see this, G? She'll kind of motion her head towards the floor.
I'll go over and see what she's pointing at.
All right. You also see this kind of indent in the floor. Looks very similar to the one on Akiva.
Okay, can I... Because I have the dagger on me, so I can pull out and adjust it so I can try and fit it.
All right. Do you wish to do so?
Yep.
All right. So you adjust the dagger. It's kind of a glowing with the red runes in it. You place it within the floor, give it a staunch kind of twist, and it's kind of lodged there, but you feel as though something released and you might be able to lift now. As you kind of pull up on this, you find another kind of like an artifact. Instead of being shaped like a D4, this one's a little different. It's kind of shaped almost like a cylinder. Inside, instead of that swirling black and red mists, you see black and almost like a very vibrant blue. You get definitely a different feeling from this one.
Oh. Hey, what are y'all doing on the floor over there?
Just hanging out. You know.
I believe they're doing the dinosaur.
What are dinosaurs?
God. You need to go to Osis.
Okay, can I pull out the cylinder?
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as you take the cylinder out, the mechanism kind of retracts down, and you can feel the dagger lift away. In your hand, think of like the old bank tellers where you put it in the tube or whatever. It's roughly that shape.
Well, that looks like what we might have been here to find.
It was just in the floor here.
Does it do you a terrible, evil doomsday feeling like the other one does?
This one? Not really.
Do you feel like it might shoot a bunch of lightning at you like the other one did?
You definitely do not get that impression from this one. You would say it's the flip side of that coin.
I think this is vastly different from the other one.
Well, great. Maybe we can keep him with the other one on the ship, and it'll kind of cancel out the bad juju.
You have an idea of perhaps how to activate this one since you were able to activate the last one.
Well, if you guys want, we can see what this holds inside of it.
You want to take it back to the ship to do it, or you feel like cracking it open here?
Could probably do it here.
Everybody stand back. If anyone's going to get shot by lightning, it'll be him.
All right. So, as you kind of go through the manual process of activating it, it is very similar to the other one. It kind of spits to life, the image pouring out from one end. You see almost a silhouetted type figure. And it will speak to you in a similar fashion as the other one. Think of this as like a gatekeeper. It's slightly pre-programmed, but it can give you some interaction. It's hard to make out any details of the face or the structure. It's mostly just kind of a silhouette. Thank you for releasing me. May I have your name?
I am Padawan G. Xylo Zens.
Ah, one who walks with the Force. And what do you seek?
We seek answers.
I see. Answers I can give you, but only locations of my brethren.
Would you happen to have a brother or sister who's in more of a pyramid-y shaped container?
He kind of looks over at you ever so briefly. We are scattered, our powers diminished. It is quite possible.
And who is we, might I ask?
We speak of the Force. I believe we are spoken of as the Wills.
Okay.
So the Wills are people?
The visage starts to kind of fade in and out for a moment. I don't have much time. Ji, would you seek out my brothers? Release us.
Do you know where they are?
We have been scattered across the galaxy. You can find us at centers of great force potential.
Places like Korriban and Dagobah.
I do not know the exact locations. I only know of one on Coruscant.
I know you said you don't have much time, but Why are y'all locked up like this then?
They've the and it fades out. The light that was once within that container dims.
That one doesn't seem as strong as the other, but I have a feeling that's maybe what we were supposed to find here.
I mean, no offense, but we've said that like 3 times now in the past 20 minutes.
Trying to start dialogue.
Yeah, unfortunately, you guys are at a bit of an impasse.
I feel as though our quest is far grander than we've anticipated.
He better be adjusting his pay scale for.
You know, that's a good point. We have kind of not been keeping up with our boss very much.
Well, I didn't think it would be particularly wise to keep him up to date on our illegal contraband mission.
Right, but and I believed you when you said it might not be great to trust him automatically, but it seems like the more we're learning about this rabbit hole, the deeper it's going.
I am a little trepidatious about the idea of this new quest of freeing these entities trapped in these containers, because he clearly was not quite able to tell us why they were locked up in the first place, and we don't know too much about them. We might be releasing something not so hot.
Pandora's box.
Did you tell us what your vision was from the red?
My vision was of Coruscant.
Well, how much of a coincidence do you think it is that Red Lady told us to go to the same place that this guy told us to?
It is not a coincidence. But the Force is strong.
I wouldn't be surprised if all 3 places had different artifacts like this.
Indeed. So what does the party wish to do?
Rock, paper, scissors it.
Well, I'd still like to track down that power source if I can.
We can do that. If we want to go to one of these places, might I suggest Dagobah? Since we shouldn't head straight into the Empire.
The star chart that you guys are in starts to blink and fade.
Well, I got most of what I could from that. I think I recognize the system, but it's really out of the way. Well, the way I see it is we have a couple different places we could go, but all of them involve leaving here. Fez wants to look at that ship, and we still didn't decide if we want to take the bug with us or not.
Well, there is the matter of trying to figure out where it wants to go, and how can we transport it.
You guys hear a voice from behind you. Well, what have you found there?
Oh crap, it's the stealing ghost. We just found a room.
The old goat man said there was a room here. I didn't quite believe him.
Why can't you just shift through the bulkhead and make your way anywhere you want?
Even my powers have limits. But really, what did you find?
We found a map, someplace we were trying to get to, and souvenir.
A map? Can I see it?
Actually, even if I had wanted to not show you, it just disappeared.
Oh, well, that seems convenient. She kind of
Also
floats around to the other side of the room. What's with all the scratching here on the walls? She kind of shifts over. Now that the room has been pretty much drained of all of its power, you notice that it is very much constructed of steel plates. You can kind of see the rivets and everything in this room now. Off to one side, you see just kind of score after score after score of just long, maybe meter long scratches.
You know, we hadn't really looked over there.
You hadn't been able to notice until now. It's almost as though you guys are in the same room. It's the same shape, but it is completely different.
When the lights were on, we couldn't really see that.
Do they look like claw marks, or do they look like scoring that was done intentionally?
It looks like energy.
Sorry, are they on the same side as the door, or like opposite it?
Opposite the door. Good question.
Well, someone definitely got in here before then.
You hear from behind you. Again, most people are kind of congregated in this room. You hear the woman's voice. That would be the last person who was in this room. She's kind of stepping forward with purposeful kind of clacks on the Durasteel flooring as she moves closer. She's at roughly medium range to you all. Did you find what you were seeking?
I think so. Yeah, guys?
I mean, you seem to know everything about us. Wouldn't you already know the answer to that question?
She kind of smiles wryly. I offer you one last chance. Help us, and I will give you more than you could possibly dream of.
What exactly do you need?
You activated it, didn't you? You know of the locations. Go there. Free them. Then come back.
I'll kind of lean over to Art. Isn't that kind of what we were going to do anyway?
I mean, yeah, but now do we really want to do it?
2 paychecks.
I mean, not for nothing, but I was just thinking about asking if you were one of them Wills like the other guy said he was, but then you said you would call them, and you had said to help us. So, what exactly are you?
I told you, I am your future. I am
won't
the
be around.
path to everything you desire.
I mean, sounds good enough to me. Double the paycheck, I'm down for it.
I'm certainly getting increasingly tired of being here. We're gonna leave soon and try and find more of the artifact. We'll just see how this thing all shakes out, okay? Is that good for you?
Perhaps. She kind of looks at you all in a judging manner. I will be here. Know this. If you falter off the path, you may be lost forever.
Yeah, that's what they make maps for.
Gonna need a bigger map.
Such a smart mouth with this one.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
It's almost the smartest part about her.
Ouch.
Alright, Fez, you figure out where your power source is.
It's not going to take long. The power that was coming from this room has been drained. You can put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, I kind of figured that once everything died out.
Well, what's your angle then? What you want to do with the shit?
Who are you
Well,
speaking?
we can talk to our clicky friend and see if he knows of any power sources, because clearly that wasn't going to last very long anyway. He might know something more permanent we could use.
Sounds good to me. Let's go find him.
All right. Fast tracking. It's not going to be too incredibly long. Just a little bit of searching around the ship, and you will find your Keelik friend. He greets you with anticipation as he has packed most of his things and he is ready to go.
All his stuff in little insect suitcase.
Yes, an insect suitcase.
Actually made out of the carcasses of his dead friends.
No, you ruined
Aww.
it.
Again, he looks at you expectantly, using the translator. I am prepared. Are we leaving?
Soon, but I have a question for you first. You know your way around this station. Are you aware of any easy to get to power sources that might be able to help us boot up that derelict ship in the hangar?
There is one source that I have yet been able to get close enough to. I can show it to you, but you will not like what you see.
I scarcely do these days, but if you'll lead the way, I'd be grateful.
All right, he'll kind of lead you through the space station. It takes a good maybe 30 or 40 minutes of travel within. He comes up to a set of like Durasteel doors, you can see that it has been welded shut. Through there, you will not like what you see.
Seems like somebody went through an awful lot of trouble to make sure this door wouldn't open again.
Lucky for us, one of our members has something that's really good at opening doors.
More like making doors.
Gonna try to plasma torch it?
That in combination with a lightsaber, I think, is the idea here.
That's what I was getting at.
Okay. So, you guys get hard to work kind of opening these doors. As soon as you get through, it takes an incredible amount of time. Whoever sealed this, sealed it with great purpose. You break through to the other side. The doors shift just ever so slightly, and you catch a little whiff of death. Kind of, like just a mound of decay kind of fills your senses. The doors are still not open yet. Do you wish to open?
It doesn't seem like something we want to stick our noses in.
Well, I for one have my my diving suit that'll let me have some nice breathable air.
Alright. Your funeral then. I'm gonna go back to the ship.
All right. Fezzik, the only one brave enough to go in?
I'll give it my best.
All right. So, I'm just assuming it's only you at this point. Doors open. Even the Killick doesn't want anything to do with this. Doors open. What's that, Arden?
I was just laughing.
Oh, okay. Doors open, and you are greeted with a mass of basically clustered bodies spanning a good 15 meters wide and maybe 10 meters tall of just a clustered heap. Fortunately, you don't smell the awful rank odor. It is at roughly long distance to you. Inside the room is kind of rectangular. You see what appears to be a lift on the far end, but it is very different than just kind of a turbo lift. It almost has like a membrane kind of seal over it.
The pile of bodies, does that pile look like it's mostly Killicks?
No. Mostly not Killicks. Various humanoid and non-humanoid species.
I'm gonna head over that way first.
Perception, difficulty 2. All right, success. As you're kind of moving through, again, it's a little kind of creepy at this point. You swear that you see a pair of beady eyes kind of following you.
The eyes are in the pile?
Yes. As you move a little bit closer as you're seeing this, roughly medium distance at this point. A given kind of pops his head out. Oh, and who are you?
I'm Fezzik. I'm new here. Nice to meet you.
Have you come to walk with us?
Doesn't look like you guys are doing a whole lot of walking from where I stand.
Most are beyond shadows.
Now, I'm not super smart, but I can put two and two together. Is this pile of bodies that I'm looking at where those two twins and the others like them are physically located?
You can make a perception difficulty 4. And I will also answer your question. There are some who wish to not walk with us. As you kind of scan the pile there, it's not jumping out that you see their particular bodies.
Okay. So, could you repeat what he said real quick?
I'm trying to think. The answer to the question of whether kind of their bodies are there. He basically said that there were some who didn't really kind of fall in line, and they kind of split off and did their own.
Okay.
Come.
But it's my understanding then that this is at least a similar setup then in that regard, that you all are floating around somewhere else and this is just where your bodies are.
Come join us. He kind of extends his hand out.
I mean, it seems like a neat trick, but I don't know that I have the time or the wherewithal, and plus I was kind of warned that unless you're a Force user, you'll probably die.
Nonsense. You are strong with the Force. Is that not why you are here? Why you have been drawn?
I've been drawn here by money, but there's one of my fellows that is certainly more Force inclined.
The Given looks at you, again with this skull-like features, beady eyes. You can see on his face, he does not understand. Come, join us. Beyond shadows, you can be everywhere and nowhere.
I mean, no offense, but I kind of like where I am right now.
I see. Well, perhaps it is not for everyone, as he slinks kind of back into the pile.
Could I get your name, though, real quick? I feel like it might be important.
No answer.
And I'll continue on towards the lift.
Okay, you get to the kind of that membrane surface. You don't see any sort of computer-based or mechanical-based controls. As you kind of, again, you can kind of touch the membrane and it kind of shifts. It's semi-transparent and you can kind of see into the other side, and it looks like there's a tube that descends down.
Does it seem like I could easily break through the membrane, or does it seem really thick?
It is not very thick. Definitely, again, transparent. It's very pliable. You feel like maybe you could push through it.
I will attempt to do so, because why not?
All right, as you kind of push through it, you don't actually go through. You can feel the membrane kind of slipping there and catching across your back. And suddenly you're moving down, almost like a teardrop as you're kind of encased in this gooey mass. You drop for maybe 10 meters and you can kind of feel that kind of that inertia as you come to a quick stop. But the membrane, it's stretched and you can see up. You can see the floor maybe 2 meters below you, but you're encased in this membrane.
Well, I worked before. I guess I'll attempt to push my way through the bottom of it.
Athletics check, difficulty 3. Success. The bottom, as you're kind of pushing through, it just rips and tears open and you fall a couple meters, thud, to the ground. The membrane slowly retracts up towards the ceiling.
Yeah, I guess I'll take a look around at where I am now.
All right. You're kind of standing in a very dark room. Do you have any sort of light source?
Let me check. Doesn't look like I do, but I probably still have my plasma torch with me from before, so I can click that on to give me some kind of light.
Yeah, it'll definitely give you a little bit of light. You can see you're in kind of a circle-esque room. It's a little different from the rest of the station that you've seen. Covering the walls is actually kind of like frescoes. They look incredibly old. Who uses this as an art form, you know? You can see that they're pictures, but you would have to get much closer to inspect them.
Yeah, I'll attempt to do so and try and figure out what they are.
All right, you get up to the first one, and you see kind of a courtyard. You can see a few figures standing in the back. Think of like the little trophy tower, like 1, 2, 3. You know how it's staggered in such a way. You know they stand. As far as like height wise, but it's really not the focus of this picture. In the forefront, again, it's a very beautiful courtyard, flowers growing, just full of life. Back behind, you see what looks like a large white fountain. Gosh, it's probably 3 or 4 meters in diameter. And standing in the forefront, you can see a woman that's dressed in like a white cloak, and it is completely covering her face. It is covered in shadow. I'm going to jump over to the rest of the party real quick. You guys went back to the ship, I'm assuming?
That's what I did.
All right, the Keelik is making his way on the ship, trying to find his own little space, so to speak. He keeps kind of bugging you about when you guys are getting out of here. It's a little annoying, to be frank. And then you're going to be greeted by the female twin as she kind of comes aboard ship. Oh, I didn't know you were back.
Hopefully to be leaving soon.
Oh, I hope you made her really angry.
Oh, well, leaving sooner than soon. Then
Yeah, I haven't seen her really be anything before. It's a little scary.
did she say what we did to make her angry?
It's probably me.
I don't know, but I imagine it's something she don't like.
Hey, G, why don't you put blue with
What do you mean?
the blue artifact with the red artifact?
Well, I mean, the blue one's a little spent. I don't know if I'll be able to do anything else.
I was just saying you could put it on the ship.
Okay. I don't know what you did, but she's really angry. Have you seen my brother?
He was kind of following us into another room we found, asking questions.
Which room?
One that was behind a door that the really old guy told us about.
She kind of looks at you a little bit, and then a light goes off in her eyes. Oh, he's always kind of looking at that. Well, I'm a little worried. I'm gonna go find him. And she kind of zips off back to Fezzik. As you're kind of moving on to the next mural, the figures that were in the background.
Just real quick, I just wanted to ask with regards to the woman in the white cloak, just based on the general body shape. I realize it's a fresco and not an actual like still image, but does it look like it might be the same cloaked woman we've been seeing, just in a white cloak?
It is a possibility. There's not enough detail or fact to. I mean, you can't see the face. That might have been one thing to give it away. It's really up to you.
The height and general build is a closer resemblance.
Yeah, they're roughly the same height, same build, humanoid. That you're for sure. I mean, you don't think it's an Adreno, with 4 arms or anything quite like that. As you move on to the next picture, the visages that were in the background quickly become the foreground. You see kind of an elderly man standing between 2 arguing, not quite adolescents, maybe mid-20s, it's hard to say. Kind of a stern-looking male has his finger pointed, in a very aggressive manner to another female who's kind of flipping her hair back and almost kind of not caring way, so to speak. The older man is again looking on, again with his arms kind of stretched out, trying to keep them separate. And in the background, you see kind of that same courtyard, and you see that white cloaked figure standing very close to the pool. Like that fountain.
Okay, and do any of these figures look familiar, the ones whose faces I can see?
They do not, though I did send pictures to you guys pre-campaign, so. Moving on to the next one, you're just about done with all of the frescoes in this room, and you don't see any other exits out. This one, you see the elderly man, this time, kind of not as far off removed in the background, but kind of looking at the woman in the white cloak. This time she has her cloak kind of pulled back, and you can see long, luxurious kind of golden hair, almost like real thin, like angel pasta. I think that's what it's called. The really, really thin strands of golden blonde. She is standing between the figures who were arguing before. They're not arguing, but they kind of have the way that their bodies are positioned are kind of not quite cold shoulder to each other, but turned just enough that the tension is there, but it's been cut down very much so from the previous fresco. The last one that you see. In the foreground, you can see the three figures. Again, the younger male, younger female, older gentleman, kind of looking on, and you can see the cloaked figure kind of half submerged in that pool. Again, the flowers around it seem to have withered and died, but on the outskirts are still very vibrant and growing. You do see a few odd things as well. Coming up and out of the pool, you see a couple almost like tentacles, dark tentacles. And that is the last fresco.
Very creepy.
Very much so.
Do those tentacles look at all familiar to look similar to what we saw underground?
Almost exactly like the ones you saw underground.
Very interesting. But not what I came down here for. I'm gonna look around for that supposed power source.
Perception, difficulty 4.
And since we're not using them for anything else so far, I'll go ahead and flip a destiny point to upgrade my check.
All right.
May the force be with us.
Oh, wow. Success. It is going to strain you quite a bit. So go ahead and suffer that strain. As you're looking around, you find what appears to be a very small, not exactly a computer terminal, but you see kind of a stationary object that's been pushed back, almost like a pedestal. As you kind of investigate it, it looks like it would open.
Do I see any obvious mechanisms that would enable it to do so?
It looks like the shroud would slide off the top.
Alright, I'll go ahead and attempt to do that.
As you pull it off, inside you can see almost a mess of wires, but kind of a beautiful disaster. The craftsmanship of this is exquisite, something that you've not seen before. Resting in the center, you see a small, it's not ivory, you're not quite sure of the material, but almost like a white stone dagger with a very simple hilt.
And it seems hooked up to the wires, or
Correct.
the wires are just wrapped around it?
Scientifically, it makes no sense.
First, I'll try and take a mental snapshot in my mind of how everything seems to be hooked up to it before I start trying to disassemble the wiring.
as you kind of looking it over, it looks like it's just slid down into kind of what do you call it? Like a mount, and then the wires are actually connected to that mount, like a sink of some sort. You think with enough force you might be able to pull the dagger out.
I'll give it a shot. Why not?
Perfect. I want you to make me... this time, let's make it Vigilance. Difficulty, 2 purple, 2 red.
That does not seem likely, but I'll give it a shot.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Oof.
Surprisingly, almost made it. I was considering upgrading it too.
There's no despair though. So, as you try to pull this dagger out, you're not physically assaulted. You're mentally assaulted, and you're gonna see just a very quick glimpse of this. And I posted it in the Discord. You find that your hand lets go of the dagger. You're standing there just kind of looking at it when you come to. You're not knocked out, you're just kind of taken somewhere else for a moment.
Sorry about that, my mic was off.
No problem.
Does her hair strike me as similar to the hair of the white-robed?
Yes.
Nice.
So something happened to her.
She looks very hungry.
She needs some milk.
All right. What do you wish to do, Fezzik? You look at the dagger almost... You can definitely try to pull it out again, but part of you is like, that's a very bad idea.
Does it seem possible to... How big is the pedestal?
Oh, it's not very large. Roughly the size of a hamper.
Okay. Does it seem possible to dismantle the pedestal from its base and just carry the whole thing?
Make me a mechanics check. Difficulty 2 purple, 1 red.
And I will be... Actually, let me double check what I'm... Okay, yeah, I'll be using my Hydro Spanner and my toolkit, so I get 2 boost die from it.
Nice.
Ah, you kidding me?
You look it over and you go over every possible scenario that you can think of, and you just don't see a way. You would have to disassemble quite a bit of the station to get at it.
And I guess I'll head back to the lift. I'll see if I can convince the others to come back here with me and see if they have any ideas.
Sure, no problem. The difficulty you're going to have in the lift is you physically burst through the membrane. It's difficult to get up that shaft. We're not going to go through all the ins and outs of how you finally make your way back up. But you're a mechanically sound person. The membrane kind of drops you down and is supposed to slowly release you through. You burst through it, so now it's got a big hole in it and it doesn't function properly.
Fair enough.
All right, we'll say you're back at the ship. You have been gone for a long time. Your party's probably pacing the floors and tapping their feet.
All right, so I've got some good news and bad news.
Well, I'll start with the bad news first, because we got something bad too.
Well, the bad news is, you know those kind of creepy images we saw when we were underneath that upside down pyramid in where we found that little red and black artifact?
I remember some of them, yeah.
Well, I found something that shook me up, something awful. It's projected this image in my mind of a really scary looking woman that kind of reminded me of those images. Not the same person, but very creepy looking.
That's creepier than the already creepy things we've seen on this stage.
I mean, if you consider what looked like a human woman with about 10,000 pointed teeth to be creepier than anything we've seen here so far, then yes.
Well, all I can say is we got a tip from the ghost kid that Red Lady's angry with us. I'm hoping we can get out of here soon.
Yeah, why couldn't we just skedaddle?
Well, there's the good news. I did find a power source that could get the other ship up and running, but I might need you guys' help to get it out of there. Plus, I found some paintings that y'all might be interested in looking at.
I will kind of look sideways at Arden. I really want to leave soon, but how important do you think this is?
I mean, it could be pretty important, but do you really want to go deal with Sharkmouth over there some more? I'd much rather just skedaddle, but if it's important to him.
Well, we might have stayed too long already anyways. Maybe a few more minutes won't bother.
Alright. Take us back over, I guess.
Okay, we won't take a lot of time doing this. Fezzik kind of takes you guys back through the station. You guys will investigate those frescoes for your own eyes. This thing that he's talking about, a dagger? In like this pedestal and wires that he described? You don't see it anywhere in the room.
I don't see it either.
No, you do not. It was just right there.
Well, the wall arts definitely leave something to be desired, but I don't see what else you were talking about, Fed.
Are you okay?
I mean, I know it was there. Is there any, like, evidence on the ground that something might have once been there, or is it just, like, completely barren?
It's just like it's gone. Like there's no physical evidence of this. Like you can see why they think you're absolutely nuts.
Well, I suppose, given what I saw when I touched the damn thing, it might be for the best that we didn't take it with us. Doesn't sate my curiosity, though, that's for sure.
All right. You guys heading back to the ship? I think the next plan was to leave.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mhm.
All
I
right.
will also relay that the shark-mouthed woman that I saw looked like she was the same woman in the painting, just so they have some idea of what she looked like when I saw her.
Very good. All right. So as you guys make your way back to the ship, you get about roughly medium distance. You hear thrusters as a craft kind of comes in and docks next to yours. The hatch opens. Several kind of grunt-esque soldiers kind of filter out, 3, 4, and kind of walking nonchalantly, you see Jet Nova. Well, looky what I found. This is going to be initiatives, but let's take a quick 5 or 10 minute break. Let's be back at 10 after 11. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
All right, I am back. Everybody here?
Yes.
I think so.
Yep.
All right. Again, several armed troops come out, and followed by Jet. Kind of looks over at you guys. It took me a lot of credits and a little time, but I caught you. He shouts at his troops. Keep one of them alive. I want what they found. All right, let's do some. Okay, I see one cool here. Let's go ahead and roll the rest. Nice roll. All right, so initiative will be 2-player character slots. Jet, player character slot. Bad guys, last player character. You guys are medium range to your ship, long range to all of the kind of grunts, fighters. They seem to be wielding blaster pistols, and Jet himself. All right, who wants to go first?
Any takers?
I've got no particular ideas in mind at the moment.
I mean, I can try something.
Give it a try.
Okay, can I get into short range? I think I use extra. I have to.
It would
strength
take
for that.
2 movements to get to medium range.
Okay. Well, here's what I want to try. I want to try and use my force move and knock Jet Nova's gun out of his hands.
Okay. Let's see here. All right. Doesn't have a range listed, so sight would be fine. Go ahead and roll that force point, or that force die. Okay, so you're at a bit of a crossroads since you rolled a dark side point. You can either suffer the morality loss and it can activate, drawing on the powers of the dark side, or you can spend a light side point to flip it to a light side pip.
We'll spend.
Okay. All right, so all right, so you reach out with the force, grabbing Jet's weapon. It struggles for a second as he tries to fight and hold it. Let's see here. He is, however, able to keep a hold of it. You still have a movement if you wish. And you heading towards the ship or towards them?
I think I'll start heading towards them.
Okay, so you can do a 1 movement towards it. It will still take another move to make it into medium range, or you can suffer 2 strain and do another maneuver and move into medium range.
Yeah, let's get into medium range. I'll take the strain.
Okay. Player character slot.
I guess I'll go ahead and go. What was our range from our ship, you said?
Medium.
So, if I were to take just one maneuver, that would get me into short range?
That is correct.
I'll start heading that way, and I'll use change my action to maneuver and draw my gun, and that'll be mine.
Okay. So Jet's turn. He does have long range. Let's see here. As you're moving towards the ship, he is definitely going to take a shot at you. At long range. Ooh, that's success.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, so let's see, carbine. All right, he kind of levels his shot out. Not so fast. Pulls the trigger, scores 5, and for 11 points of damage minus your soak. And he's going to take a movement towards your guys' ship. All right, player character slot.
I can take it if no one else wants to.
Yeah, you can go ahead first.
I'd like to kind of do what Fi was doing and scoot back towards the ship.
Okay, you can move into short range with 1 movement.
I can't remember if my weapon is short or what range it is. Let me see real quick.
They are all long range to you. Except for Jet, who would be medium.
Okay, so this is just for a short range. Okay, I think she'll just do that and kind of block fires so he can't get hit a second time.
Okay, so bad guys' turns. They're going to spend both maneuvers to move into medium range. And one group is going to fire at G, the other group is going to fire at Fezzik. Ooh, okay, so blaster fire just dances all around the party. Unfortunately, they are not accurate enough to find their mark. They're just going to have to move a little bit closer.
Typical stormtroopers.
Right? Let's see, last player character slot.
Okay. Is there any kind of opening between us and the troops that are approaching us that I might make an approach towards their ship at like an angle?
Yeah, you could
Trying
kind
to,
of
like snake a way around them.
Yeah, you could try to cut the distance in between.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and spend the strain to do a double move and try and make my way towards their ship.
Okay, that'll put you at medium range. And
how close am I to them as well at this point?
so you would be within short range of them. But again, you're kind of cattywampus.
Yeah, may as well take a shot while I'm there, though. So I will go ahead and try and hit one of the groups with my cryoband projector.
All right. And you suffered the strain for the double move?
Yes.
Okay. Go right ahead.
And it's difficulty 2, correct?
In short range, it would be difficulty 1.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Ooh, that's success.
And that threat is canceled out from my cybernetic.
Awesome. So, damage 6 plus 3, so 9 points of damage. As you hit one of the kind of they're paired up essentially. One of them just takes a hit and kind of almost crumples over from the pain. Let's see, top of the order, player character slot.
Is it alright if I go ahead?
Sure.
Feel free.
I'll take a maneuver. I can get anywhere within our ship at that rate.
So you were at medium range. No, you were at short range, correct? Or did you
Right.
double moved?
I thought we were medium to our ship. I
You are
moved
medium.
once.
So you were at short range. You could take one, then you could essentially enter the craft.
I don't really want to go inside. I wanted to like maybe go on the other side of the ship away from Jet that's approaching. Like use it.
Oh, like use one of the struts for cover? Yeah, you can do that within a maneuver.
I'll kind of duck behind there, and then I'll kind of bang on the side of the Phoenix and kind of shout at our bug friend inside. We're getting attacked! Please help! Please help! Please help!
Nice. All right. That's basically kind of a free action. Did you want to take it? Any other action?
Could I kind of take a pop shot at Jet from behind here?
Yes. He is going to be at medium distance from where you're at.
Okay, yeah, I can only do short then, so. Let's see, as in aim, I can take I guess kind of do a guarded stance according to this sheet here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So any character who tries to combat me gets a +1 to the attack, it looks like.
+1 difficulty.
Sorry, I get +1 melee defense till the end of turn. So I don't know how useful that'll be, but
You never know. All right, next player character slot.
How grouped up are the lot of them at the moment?
They're
Jet still relatively.
Jet is by himself, and then there's 2 minion groups of 2.
I just meant, are they all in short range still?
Of each other?
For me.
Yeah, the 2 groups that you're kind of firing at are within short range of you and each other.
But Jet is further away?
Correct.
I'll hang on to that then. I'll just continue. I think you know what I was thinking of doing.
Oh, I know exactly what you're thinking of.
But yeah, I will go ahead and continue on towards their ship then.
Okay. 1 or 2 moves?
2, but I'm gonna go ahead and take a pot shot first again
Sure.
before I move out of range.
And then you were at long, you moved into medium. Then with 2 moves, you'd be short and at their ship. Oh, nice. So, same as identical roll as before. As this, one of the guys looked over his companion who was wincing in pain, gets caught by another blast. He drops. So essentially, you're down to 2 guys and Jet. All right, but it is Jet's turn. So Virus is there. He's going to take a shot at Arden. Hand over the artifact, and no one has to die. Ooh,
That's rough, buddy.
that is very rough. So 11, 12, 13 points of damage minus your soak.
Ooh.
That almost one-shot you.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
system is very, very ouchy.
Cover counts for a lot.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, you guys were kind of caught. That is Jet's turn. However, he is going to take a move forward. So, Fyrus, as you're kind of looking around the strut, you can see Jet on the other side. A player character slot. You got Arden or Moon? Or G, sorry.
I don't mind going.
Alrighty.
okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and take cover somewhere.
Yeah, you can
around the
move
ship
move
where I c-
yeah, move towards the ship.
Yeah, and she's gonna take cover there, but also probably kick at the metal a little bit as if like maybe if the giant bug in there didn't happen to have his communicator on, he might hear them kicking up a rough.
Okay. And did you want to take any action? Jet is within short range now.
Can I pew pew while I'm taking cover?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'd like to shoot him. Or try to.
Okay, short range, difficulty 1. Strike. That is a lot of damage. Okay. Let me see his soak.
Eye for an eye.
Yeah, as you kind of blast from around that strut, standing very close to Fyrus, your shot blasts him so close, you can see when he tried to duck out of the way, his hat kind of goes tumbling down as it just drifts left, right, left, down. All right. You guys hear the lift within your ship start to open, and you hear the click-clack as the Keelix starts to rush out. He is going to get within short range of Jet. And then see, minions' turns. They are going to fire at G. And, oh, God. Okay, as they again take aim, the air is starting to singe with the burning plasma as the bolts go flying by. They are going to kind of strike at the ground in front of you, just leaving score marks. I'm going to give them some bonuses next round if they survive. And last player character slot. They are now short range to you, G.
And how far away is Jet from me?
Jet is a good... I would say it's going to take 2 maneuvers to engage him in melee.
I'm gonna go after the minions.
All right, they are in short distance now.
Okay, so I can move up with the maneuver.
Yep, absolutely.
And then with my training lightsaber, I will go and attack one.
Sure.
That's difficulty 2, I believe.
Melee is always 2. Oof. Hey, you swing for the fences, unfortunately missing, but you can spend that advantage in a way if you wish on your next turn. Or give it to the next person in combat, I believe.
Yeah, let's give a boost.
All right, so top of the order.
Did you have something you wanted to do, Fez?
I'm just getting in their ship and gonna try and turn their own weapons against them.
Well, you can take the first slot if you wanted.
Alright, I'm going to attempt to do what I just said.
All right, so I'm going to need you to hack into their ship. Computer use roll. Difficulty 2 purple, 1 red.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Let's see if you can break in.
Actually, I'm going to use a light side shit too.
May the force be with us.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
That's a weird roll.
It is a success.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So, Triumph, you break into their ship with just lightning fast speed. You're hacking away at the console. The door starts to roll down. Normally, this would take much, much longer to break into to a secure system like this. As the door comes down, you're greeted by a pair of minions. We're going to put them at the last NPC slot after the last player character. Okay. So next player character slot.
I'll go ahead and go. File, he's leaning his back against the strut of the ship, like gun up to his face.
Mhm.
Kind of will speak over to the side of it to Jet, like, "Hey, you followed us a really long way, Jet. You doing this all for money?"
I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it for a shitload of money. That and other things. So what's it gonna be, boyo? The easy way or the hard way?
I'll answer you with the question. How you healing up from last time?
Oh, I got
And
pep in my step. How about you?
He'll lean over and take a shot with his slug thrower.
Okay.
Is that he was in short range, so is that difficulty 1?
That is correct. Ooh, another destiny point. You guys really want him.
I gotta make my point.
Success. All right, the bullet finds its way, piercing into him. You hear a kind of a sharp sound.
Can I spend those advantages to give him a setback on his next
You
act?
sure can. You're gonna pay for that. As he tries to pop another shot at you. And a setback. That success. All right, this is gonna hurt.
I'm down pretty much no matter what he rolls.
Yeah, probably. It's 11 points of damage. Arden, you see Pyrus take a sharp blast. Let's do this real quick. All right, Stinger. So go ahead and mark that you do have a critical on your sheet if it didn't do that. Oh, it did automatically.
Where do you
Page
see
217,
that?
Edge of the Empire. If you don't mind looking that up, Fi, while we move on to the next player character.
Alrighty.
I forgot to load my book.
I will just say, like, as he goes down, if I kind of looks over at Arden, like, oh shit.
All right. Who wants to go?
I'll go and I'll try and hit one of the minions in front of me again.
Okay. Ugh. The dice are just not with you. Yeah, unfortunately, they're just not particularly trained against maybe lightsaber combat, but they definitely have had some training against like vibro swords, vibro axes, that sort of thing as they kind of shift around. All right, it is their turn.
I'll give a boost with that advantage.
Okay, so I think Arden will be the only one left this round. They are going, since they are engaged, they're going to take a movement to move back out of range into short. Firing on G. Oh, that's successes. Okay, so that is 9 points. Minus your soak.
Okay.
And then player character slot, which I believe is Arden.
Mm-hmm. Can I kind of dart over to where Virus is and...
He's literally right next to you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't know if he was under a different...
Oh, that's a valid point. Yeah, I have just imagined you guys kind of sharing the cover since it was the closest strut.
Okay. Well... I'll, can I do another pew-pew?
You absolutely can.
It's not letting me drag into my die. Oh, wrong. And I get a advantage for this?
Boost die, yes.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, nice. Okay. So 13 points of damage minus his soak and... All right, so as you kind of peek around the corner, trying to take maybe revenge for him besting Pyrus there for a second, you blast into him, leaving a kind of a score mark across his side. You also strike his weapon, and 1 second. You strike it, and it just kind of slags it into a molten mess. He throws it down on the ground. Oh, this girl, he's got tricks. Let's see. Next is the Keelix turn. He comes out, and he is going to try to bum rush Jet.
Oh no.
And he fails horribly. He kind of, as Jet throws his slagged weapon to the ground, he kind of leans over to one side as the Keelix tries to rush and just tackle him. Basically dives over Jet's back and rolls to the ground. And now, let's see, minions' turns. They are going to fire on Fezzik as he came into some company. And some success. So 8 minus your soak. As that door opens up, you're greeted by a surprise of blaster bolts. And that brings us to the top of the order.
Well, I'm unconscious now, correct?
That is correct.
So just one of you three.
Do stim packs recover consciousness, or?
I don't believe so. You would need something a little bit stronger. You could try to drag him into the ship.
Okay. I'll go ahead and take the slot if no one else.
Okay, I think it's all yours.
She will make an attempt at hoisting him up as well as she can and try to shuffle onto the ship with him.
That's your brawn. You got an average brawn, so it's not too bad. So you hoist him up. That's going to be your action. You can take a move action. It's going to take 2 move actions to get him basically onto the ship. So you would have to suffer 2 strain if you wish to do so. Or you could kind of move over and getting ready to get on the ship.
I'll go ahead and take the strain for it and take him all the way up.
Alrighty. Then we've got another player character slot.
Am I currently engaged with the 2 others?
You're
or
at
am I
short range.
Or
Short.
close range? I will go ahead and take a strain to do a double aim on these guys and take a shot at them.
Okay, sure.
It's a new scene, technically, correct?
Yes.
Could I, never mind. He probably wants those advantages. I was gonna let him re-roll a
Yeah, I can use all of that.
Yeah, because
So
you
I
can make
will,
it blast, correct?
Yeah, I will, because I will also have 1 extra for my cybernetics, so I'll spend 3 to do a crit and 2 for the blast.
Ooh, nice. Okay. If you want, you can drag that personal crit up into the bar. It'll roll for you.
It's not letting me drag it up
Not
there.
into the blue bar, into the chat bar. It should let you.
Doesn't seem to be.
Okay, I'll roll it. All right, hamstrings. All right, so with that crit,
Oh, and the blast is 6.
blast is 6. Okay, so yeah, plus any successes that you have. So that is enough to actually take both of them out. So they think, they've got the advantage as the door comes down and they're raining down death upon you. You're like, you pull your cryo band and fire up in there, catching them both unawares as they kind of freeze over and fall in pain. Now it is Jet's.
That's what you get.
All right, Jet. He doesn't have a weapon. Okay, so he's going to suffer 2 strain. He is going to maneuver once over to Arden, and he's bringing a vibro dagger down to bear. Not so fast, girly. Oh, and a strike. Okay. Let's see. Brawn +1. Has Pierce 2. And can crit. Awesome. All right, so it's going to ignore 2 points of your soak, Arden. You're going to take 4 points of damage plus a crit. Ooh, that looks like it hurts.
Does she technically still have her? Yeah, she does.
She does. Mm-hmm. And that's page 217, if you don't mind looking it up, Fi, since you probably have it still open.
And that takes me above my wound threshold.
Oh, even better.
No, actually not at all.
No, this is great. I like this. As he jabs that dagger into your back, I imagine you shriek with pain, dropping Phyrus and yourself falling to the floor. The last thing you remember is Jet trying to rummage through your persons. However, it is now player character slot.
Guess that's me. How far away is Jet now?
From you, and you move to engage those guys, it's going to be a good medium distance. You could make it, but it would take 2 of your moves.
Yeah, let's start heading over there.
Okay. And then you have an attack action if you wish.
Yeah, we'll try.
As you approach, Jet goes, "You think this is smart? Just one little slice, and there'll be nothing left of them." As you use that destiny point.
May the force be with us.
All right.
Okay. Can I let her re-roll the green one?
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, it's just a wash. As you're kind of struggling to overcome Jet, you guys are kind of locked in lightsaber versus vibro knife here. Again, he's kind of toying with you. As you know, with the characters kind of next to him, he could easily just reach out and stab. He is going to attempt parlay at this point, but it could quickly go back to combat. He looks at Yuji. No one has to die here. Give me the artifact, and we all walk away.
I'm like, fine. But it's in the ship.
Is that true? Yes?
If I was looking for the dagger, that's still on me.
So you're trying to deceive him. Okay.
Yeah.
I want you to make me a deception roll. You don't need to use any difficulty, and I'm going to counter roll you.
While this is going on, is there any chance I could get to the cockpit and try to power up their weapons?
You certainly can. I'm trying to think if anybody has turns before you. They do not, because they're both bleh. Yeah, if you want to roll me that deception there, G, I'm ready to roll as well.
Can I at least... Not that I'll do much.
2 successes versus Jedi tricks. I don't want to do this, but I will if I have to. He kind of menaces over Pyrus and Arden, again, bringing the dagger close to them. We'll let Fezzik kind of do his action here, since we're kind of locked in a thing. You can do a move. You are still going to have to do a computer use check to start powering up their ship. Difficulty for this is going to be 2 purple and 2 setback.
Oof.
You try, and it's you can see through the cockpit exactly what is going on. 2 of your companions have fallen. Jet is there menacingly holding a vibro knife, squaring off mano a mano with G. They seem to be locked in a word battle as your fingers are flying across the keyboard. Start, damn you!
Can I interrupt? I have the ability Sense Danger where it says once per game remove 2 setback die from any one check. Can I do that on the computer?
You could I will allow you this, so just make sure that we do it before. That way we don't have to recant any rolls. That will remove the failure, which would add 1 success. Fezzik, as you're just jamming away at the controls, finally you gain access into the system. On your next turn, then you can try just to really start to activate systems, weapon systems. It just takes a little bit for a freighter to come online.
All
right, so we're back at the top of the order. We've got G and Fezzik. Unfortunately, this is just the way that it goes. Both of you can decide what you want to do. G, I do want to make it clear that if you do try to attack him, he may spend his action stabbing your friends. I think I wanted to make sure that threat came through.
Yeah.
Didn't care terribly much for me anyway, right?
Now you guys can suffer a bunch of crits before you bleh.
A few more won't hurt.
Yeah, and Fezzik is just getting the systems up as quickly as he possibly can.
Make me one more computer use roll. Since you're in, difficulty is going to be 2. No setback.
And since this counts for a lot, I'm going to go ahead and spend the last light side point.
Do it.
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams
Oh, I'm glad I did.
yesterday set tomorrow.
All right.
Just
So,
do it!
systems come online. I'm assuming that you are going to power up
Do it!
the weapon systems.
Yeah, weapons first. Everything else can wait.
All right. Weapons will come online. You'll be able to take actions with them the following round. G.
Anyone else would quit, and you're not gonna
Can
stop
I
there.
use those advantages to
No,
give
what are you waiting
G boost?
Do
You
it!
absolutely can.
Just do it!
Okay,
Yes,
Shy.
you can!
Yeah, he's just going off.
Ugh.
It's really important that you understand.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
I'm gonna reach back and pull up the dagger then.
All right. He says, kick it over to me.
I'll like throw it a few feet in front of him.
Tell your friend there to get out my ship. If he don't, I'm taking yours.
That will require me to get over to him.
Don't play me for a fool. I know you've got comms.
Ironically enough, I don't have a communicator.
That's funny. But he don't know that.
Can I like play it off and be like, Fez, get out of the ship with my comm?
You can, but it's going to be another deception roll. Is that what you wish to do?
No. I'll be like, he doesn't have a comm actually.
Jet kind of disgustedly looks over at you. With his other free hand, he pulls his comm out. Fezzik, aboard the ship, you will hear, I've got your friends. I know what you're trying to do. Leave my ship, and no one has to die. You can, of course, reply back to him, Fezzik, if you need.
No, I'm gonna reply back to him, just not through comms.
If you fire, you have a very good chance of blasting everyone in that area.
Do it.
What do you think, Shia?
Do it! Just do it!
And I trust Shia. He knows what he's talking about.
Oh God.
Do it.
Alright, here comes the big roll.
And you have no light side.
No,
You-
but I will use both of my maneuvers to aim, because this really counts.
Okay. Not only do you need a success, you're going to need a success for every... How do I say this? One success will strike the area. For every additional success, we will remove one target from taking damage.
Okay.
Oh, do it.
And what am I rolling for? Oh, well, no, you would know the damage, but I still just roll gunnery, right?
Yep, it would be gunnery. And okay, again, damage is based off of ships, so it will be scaled to, yeah, okay.
Okay, and what's the difficulty?
Okay, so ship combat is based off of silhouette size. 1 second.
I think this, like anything this close, is like engaged range to a ship size weapon.
Well, it's not based off of distance, it's based off of silhouette sizes. So their craft is probably a silhouette 3, and you guys would be a silhouette 0. This is a very hard check. We'll give you the benefit of a doubt that you are 2 sizes larger, which would be a difficulty 3.
Okay.
And the DM's going to do this.
And you did aim twice, so you get 2 boosts.
So your pool should look like 2 purple, 1 red, and then any bonuses that you have.
Alright, I guess I may as well flip that light side right back again.
How much do you guys trust him right at this moment?
I'm looking at other character options.
I'm like literally on the edge of my seat right now.
Alright. Drum roll, please.
Let's see if Fezzik MPK's the party. OMG.
You
So,
have to pick one of us.
well, he doesn't have to pick. We'll let fate decide. Let me load Discord real quick.
Wait, is it me and Ren?
You, Rin, and G is there as well.
Oh man, I was gonna say we can go rock, paper, scissors.
All right, we're going to do alphabetical by character name. I'm going to roll, I think I can roll a D3. So, Arden, G, Phi. All right. Did you guys see the Discord?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Alrighty then. Fuck me up, fam.
Ooh, okay. So, Fezzik. I did you see that critical? I rolled an +1
Yeah.
plus the 20 that she already had.
That could have gone a lot worse.
That could have gone way worse.
I have 20.
So, you fire up the guns and you blast that area. Virus goes sliding off to one direction. G goes launching another. Arden, yet another. Jet just seems to go up in a nova.
No, man.
All right. Combat has ended. As you guys start to pick up the pieces, Virus and Arden are not moving.
I would strongly suggest we get them into the ship and have our new medical robot friend take a look at them.
Yep.
Also, I'm assuming we dealt with the other remaining minions.
Yeah, we're not even going to consider. Are there any? Yeah, I guess there are still two over there. They see that blast go off. They're not being paid enough for this shit, and they're just going to take off running. We'll just say with all the commotion and stuff that goes on, you guys probably aren't going to track them down. Plus, they had the distance advantage as well. All right, so you guys start to shake the characters. Virus finally comes to. The last thing, obviously, he remembers was being blasted. You guys move over to Arden. She's kind of caked in blood and gore. She does not look good. If you guys do not get her into a Bacta tank, she may not make it. She does not come to, does not snap up, does not speak, doesn't even really moan at this point. You feel the faintest of heartbeats within her. Shallow breathing. And that's where we're going to call it.
Alrighty.